Okay. American Magic coach Tom Burnham. That was a interesting day out on the water for you guys. You had an extended period this morning getting the rig set up. New rigging on the boat, was there something different?
Yeah, just doing a bunch of new rig tuning and stuff like that on with new stuff, and yeah, getting it all settled in, and took a while to get it sorted this morning on the dock, but yeah, heading out got it out for a good shakedown sail and all that. It was really good.
How regularly do you do that? How regularly do you change the rigging on these boats?
Well, there's a bunch of, I don't even know actually, that's not really my department, but yeah, there's for sure a lot of, you know, when you're changing a lot of things, there's a lot of rig tuning that has to happen, so it's part of the process of making sure everything's set up for the day, so I'm not even sure how often all that stuff gets changed.
I'm going to jump to the end of the day. You stayed out longer than all the other teams as the breeze started to swing round and dropped away. You were rewarded in the end by just enough wind to get foiling.
Yeah.
You wanted to try and just test those conditions?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we definitely are not worried, but we're, you know, one of the biggest concerns in this cup racing is when we have to race at the very bottom end of the range of the wind limit, and you know, and there's going to be times where we'll start a race when we're just above the wind limit and might have to finish a race and below the wind limit. So anytime we get a chance to sail just on that crossover between the 5 knots and 6 knots, 7 knots of wind is really valuable. So it was really nice to stay out and get that little bit of extra, probably only 15 or 20 minutes more foiling, but we were pretty persistent with it and kept at it, and you know, got the boat up out of the water a couple times, and we're able to do some tacks and jibes, and yeah, it's really, there's a lot of technique and a lot of design work that's gone into making that happen, so it's nice to be able to get some practice at it.
Today seems to be quite a lot about really about testing of the boat. We talked about the rig a little bit.
Yeah.
When do we move on, or when do you move on with this campaign to the racecraft, to the racing itself? Yeah,
I mean, there's still a bunch of racing that we're doing, racing training a bit while we're doing all this testing and trying new bits and pieces, but you know, we aren't allowed to race and test properly with other teams until the end of July, beginning of August, when we get a couple of practice days. So there's really not much time we can do an actual race mode with the big boat until we start racing, which is tough, but that's why the time we spent this winter with the AC40s in race mode was so valuable, and we really lean a lot on that, and then do a lot of racing in the simulator environment as well. So we're trying to do, you know, validate a lot of the things that we do in the simulator out on the water, but we can't have two boats obviously interacting with each other on the water right now.
Where do you rank yourself in terms of the plan for the team now? Are you behind? Are you where you want to be? Are you ahead?
No, I think we're in a good spot. I mean, you'd never say that we're ahead of our plans. That's always that'd be a risky thing to say, I think. But we're, in terms of where we are, I think we're pretty comfortable. I mean, the time is always the enemy, though, in this environment, and you know, I guess comfortable maybe was not the exact right word there, but we're moving along in our targets as expected, but more time would always be better. So it's a tough balance of, you know, how many hours and days on the water you can spend and still make sure that the boat's working properly and everything's going well and progressing and improving as well.
Great insight, Tom. Thanks so much